Hi, it's Jessie. I am back recording, so I'm still drinking goju green tea from local tea company, which is totally fine because it's really good and I'm enjoying drinking it. Today I'm going to be tier ranking all the fantasy books I read this year. I had an intent or a thought at the beginning of the year that I would tier rank all of the books I read, but then I read 140 books. I did not mean to read 140 books. I really thought I was going to read, I don't know, 40, 45. Then a tier ranking list would be totally reasonable. Anyway, point being, if you saw that, you also saw that fantasy, if you saw my stats video, you saw that fantasy is by and far the largest genre of books that I read because I like fantasy the most. The other thing, and I'll talk about this when I get to my favorites of the year, I really like most of the fantasy I read. It's my favorite genre, and I don't want to clog my favorites up with all of the fantasy books. So I figured this would be a fun way to talk about all the fantasy I read, tell you about my favorites, tell you about the least favorites, without clogging that up. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I should have looked at this number. I think there's something like 30 on this list. I did combine series, so as long as I read one book from a series this year, I put the entire series on the list, just to make it easy. The other thing is, what I define as fantasy is entirely up to my interpretation. So if you get mad because Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is on here, you tell me what you think ghosts classify as. Because paranormal is fantasy. Although there are a couple ghost books I didn't put on here. Look, it's inconsistent. Just deal with it. I didn't think of a setup of where to put my laptop. I guess it's gonna be on my lap. And it's fine, you'll be looking at the tier ranker, not at my face anyway, so if I'm not looking at the camera, who cares? So going through the categories here, Perfection, Chef's Kiss. I think this is wonderful and I think everyone should read it. It's fantastic. I love it I really, really like this, but I acknowledge it's probably not for everyone. Not for me this is a good book, just not for me. Oof I did not like this. Let's Not Talk About It is either this is a thing I wish I hadn't read, or I'm glad I read it but I don't want to talk about it, or it's kind of a catch-all category of just let's not talk about it. And DNF is anything I didn't finish, whether it's because it was at the end of the year or and I will finish it, or it's just a book I didn't enjoy so I DNF'd. This isn't tied to my star ratings for these books because I figured it'd be more interesting to talk about whether or not I would recommend them. So let's start with A Christmas Carol. This is one of those first things that doesn't really fit into any of these categories easily. I'm gonna put it in I love it. I do. I love A Christmas Carol. It has a lot of meaning to me, but it's also definitely not for everyone. The Afterlife of Polly Chase is gonna go in not for me. I didn't care for this one. I thought it just wasn't what I was looking for. And Unkindness of Magicians. I'm gonna also put that in not for me. Not for me. It's not that I hated it or anything. I thought it was fine. It just wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't as much what I wanted. I'm also not gonna, except for maybe Perfection, I'm not gonna try to rank which one of these is better than the other ones. It's just not worth the time. All right, this is for, what on earth is that? Oh, this is Beauty and the Beast, the like classic. I'm gonna put this in oof. It just doesn't live up at all. Meanwhile, Mercedes Lackey's Beauty and the Werewolf. I feel like I should have had something in between I love it and not for me, because this kind of fits between those two. Because it isn't bad. I think it's for me and I want to read it. I just would say I love it. So we're gonna put it in I love it, but 5th season. Perfection, Chef's Kiss. Everybody should read the 5th season. I don't care if you like fantasy, read the 5th season. I don't care if literally read the 5th season. I just think it's fantastic. I understand why it might be hard for people to get into, but I love it. Dusk or Dark or Dawn or Day by Shauna McGuire I love it. I think it's really good. I really enjoyed reading it, but it's definitely weird and not for everyone. Descendant of the Crane. I definitely needed an I like it category. Can I add one now? Okay, and we're gonna move Beauty and the Werewolf by Mercedes Lackey into that. We're gonna put Descendant of the Crane into that because, you know, Didn't love it, didn't hate it. I think it's good. I think Descend of the Crane probably has closer to more general appeal, but I also think it's a lot of politics, which is why I didn't care for it. Dragon Reborn, let's not talk about it. Ella Enchanted, I think, is perfection. I think this is adorable. I think if you haven't read Ella Enchanted for some reason, I think you should. Don't go off the movie. It's nothing like the movie. In my opinion, it's better than the movie, but they're also so drastically different that it's hard to compare. Every Other Doorway. I think this is going to be the one Shauna Maguire that I put in perfection. I think Shauna Maguire has a style that's not going to work for everyone. She's got weird stuff. That's fine. But yeah, I think I'm going to put it in there. Farseer trilogy, I'm going to put in perfection. I think it's great. I think everyone should read it. Golden Compass is going to go in not for me. Harry Potter, let's not talk about it. Oldest, or The Inheritance Cycle. I mean, this is honestly an oof, but let's not talk about it. And The Vanisher's Palace, not bad. Kill the Farm Boy, this is a DNF. Where do I put this one? So, I'm sorry, I'm going through these really fast. I just don't have a lot to say. Maybe I'll go through and like talk about the top ones and the bottom ones here. Last Dragon Chronicles, not bad. They're not like anything spectacular. Miranda Milan, I'm gonna put in not for me. I liked it, I just think it was kind of meh. What on earth is, oh, this is the Natural History of Dragons. This is definitely an I love it. I think these are fantastic books. But I definitely understand where they're not going to be for everyone. I think if you pick them up, it's not. Senlin Ascend gets described a lot as like, if you go into this thinking it's a fantasy book, you're really messing out because this is like a literary fiction. I feel like this falls very similarly into that. This is more of a, I don't want to quite say historical fiction, but it's more that than it is fantasy. It just happens to have dragons. Mort, not bad. Hoping the rest of these get better. Necroseme Chronicles, not bad. They're not like fantastic. I don't know why that picture's so tiny. They're not fantastic, but I enjoy them, and I think I'd encourage a lot of people that are fans of YA fantasy to pick them up. No Man of Woman Born, that goes in not bad. I don't know why I added this not bad category. Everything goes in it now. Reverie is in DNF. That was one of the two I'm reading at the end of the year. Didn't quite finish it. Rage of Dragons. This could really go anywhere between perfection and not for me, which is really just such a large range. I know I wouldn't put it in I love it, and I know it's not for everyone, so not perfection. So is it not bad or not for me? I'm gonna put it in not bad, if only because it's good enough that I want to read the sequel. Senlin Ascends, unfortunately, was a DNF. This is on my list to give another try. I actually brought the book back from my parents. I want to give it a shot. Strange Grace, perfection. Seasons of Abaddon, perfection. Sorcerer of the Wild Deeps. This is another one where it was like, I want to reread it because I'm not entirely sure I got everything from it that I was supposed to. I'm gonna put it in not for me for now. And if I reread it, I might feel better about it. Which is weird. Why would I reread a book I didn't like that much? But I did like it. The Circus Rose, not bad. Tea Dragon Society, not bad. Not a lot of story to it. Is this The Princess Bride? Nope, this is not The Princess Bride. What is this? Oh! Tensorate series, perfection. Love the Tensorate. Everybody should read the Tensorate. The Great Hunt, not for me. Princess Bride. I'm gonna straight up put it in an oof. Here's the thing about the Princess Bride. Just watch the movie. And I hate saying that. I hate being that person. But there was literally no reason to read this book after seeing the movie. And the worst part is the like cheesy dialogue that works in the movie, it doesn't work in the book. Starless Sea is gonna go in I love it. I like it a lot less in retrospect. but I love it. The Wheel of Time. Look, Wheel of Time fans might crucify me for this, but it goes in I love it. 2 years ago, even I wouldn't have said that. I would have been like, yeah, it's for everyone. Perfect. Mwah. Now I'm like, nah, not so much. In Borderlands, it's a weird one because I do love it. Yeah, I love it. It's weird to put, it's an anthology, which makes it kind of strange. So to just go through these, let's talk about the top ones that I put up here. Rearrange them a little bit because I said I would put these in order. Right, if I'm being honest, I'm going to put Fifth Season ahead of Strange Grace because as much as I love Strange Grace, I think objectively it's not as good. I think this will be my order for those. Yeah, so just to go through the top ones here. Fifth Season, I'm going to have a review out sometime in the next month or two. Just absolutely beautiful. One of those books that kind of wrecked me a little bit. I read it in like the whole trilogy in like a weekend. Sorry, not the Fifth Season. It's the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. Just wonderful. Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. I'm still thinking about months later, and I fully intend to read everything Tessa Gratton's ever written. Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Okay, I'm almost done. Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb is just really, really, really enjoyable. And from what I understand, the rest of the series for the Realm of the Elderling get even better from here, and I fully believe that, and I can't wait. Tenseret, I've been talking about this for 1.5 years now. Everybody should read the Tenseret. Seasons Valbadon is an independently published book, and it's really good. It's clever, it's cute, it's kind of got fairy tale vibes, but not at all. It's both. Every Yard a Doorway, this is, I think I'm speaking for the entire Wayward series, having not read the entire Wayward Wayward Children series. But yeah, I think it's good. And Ella Enchanted, like I mentioned, I think that's sweet. The ones down here at the bottom, I talked about The Princess Bride. Beauty and the Beast is just, it's a little cringy. Yep, that's cool. Yep, that's it. All right. Stick around. Next week I will have up my favorite books of the year, or my, literally so close to being done.
Okay, go real fast. I gotta start dinner.
Next week I'll either have my favorite books or my least favorite books up, and then the following week will be the other one, and then that'll wrap up all my year-end things that I'm doing in January, because I don't understand how you finish your year before the year is done. Anyway, bye.